Hey, what's up? I'm Kaaw. Let's make this jam into a full track.
Let's make a track with Eurorack. Let's make a track with Eurorack. Like and subscribe.
So let's break down this patch. We got a lot of wires. Not everything's being used for this track. For this track, we are using cubic chord. These are just small chord stabs. Next up is our bass line, which is Bassimilus. And it's going through VCA matrix, so I can add in delay from mimeophone. Mimeophone is going straight out to my interface. Also going into my interface is the number 1 channel on VCA matrix. That's getting everything dry. And wasp filter is also going straight to my interface. So we're just multi-tracking, make it easier. Since we have a lot of low end, it'll make it less crunched together and saturated. Cubic chord is coming into VCA matrix on input D, and the dry is being controlled by maths. It has an envelope from maths. So that's why we're getting the pluck, but let's turn off Bassimilus. I can also have cubic chord just droning and going through the filter. Starlabs or mimeophone if I want, but since it's not the plucky signal getting sent through the reverb and delays, it's not going to get the full use out of the effects. And we can affect it later on in Ableton anyways. We have our ARP, which is Manus Iteritas. I pretty much always just have it going through wasp filter. And then our drums, which is Erica Synths bass drum, 2 HP hat, and fracture. So bass drum. Open and closed hats. And fracture. Super reverby, like snap, clap thing, hit, rim shot. I don't know what you would classify this as. And then all together, I didn't just get lost in that jam for 30 minutes. You did. All right, we got everything recorded in, and since I was multi-tracking that whole time, everything should be laid out pretty much as we played it. So let's get into Ableton and switch up the arrangement and see what we can come up with. We're recorded in. This is our multi-track. And now let's get this arranged in a better intro drop format. Boom, arranged. So let's walk through this real quick. We have our bass drum, just an EQ, and I cut out a lot, 63 hertz and 256, just to make room because it was fighting with the bass line. This is just a ghost kick for the compressor. Hi-hats, open and closed. Our snare, or our clap snare, I ended up not wanting it on every beat, so kind of broke it up. And yeah, next we have our ARP, which in the drop is pretty much dry. It has a little bit of reverb, but nothing too crazy. But in the intro, we have it filtered pretty heavily, and Valhalla space modulator. Just doing some scientific term. Next we have our bass line, which sidechained. Also EQ'd pretty heavily to carve out space. The intro has the normal bass line that we recorded in. The other main change that we made to the bass line though is in the drop, I sliced at every trigger, or every note if you will. Pretty much cut the decay out, just made it more plucky, a little more staccato, so it wasn't running into each other and fighting the kick. Next we have the pluck from cubic chord, and we have 2 layers of this, which is, one is just the original with a slight EQ on it, and the second layer for this is pitched up a fifth, and I have Runia on it for distortion, and that's pretty much making the whole sound, and I've cut out a lot, so it's just for a like little top layer kind of crunch on top of the normal notes. And now all the new sounds that we added, We have our percussion. Just a few different layers. 4 different layers to be exact. Of percussion, just shakers, little hits and clicks and whatnot. Then we have, I guess this would be the atmosphere layer. It's not so much rises and sweeps, but we have this vocal. Which is just literally a random vocal that kind of the first vocal that I clicked on and was in key. Dragged it in and I put on Little Altar Boy, EQ'd it, bandpassed it very heavily, so it's only a little portion that's actually being used. And Valhalla Supermassive. Then resampled that and have it panning left and right, just for a little ear candy. Then the second vocal, I have it going out to a bunch of pedals that are on my desk. So in this instance, I used Microcosm and Night Sky. Microcosm going into Night Sky, and you get this super washy, screaming cry atmosphere. One more vocal. These are the same sample on each layer, but the first layer is bandpassed, and that's it. The second layer is also bandpassed, but in a different spot. I have them in a group, and the group is processing them. So I have Valhalla Vintage Verb, Uber Mod, a EQ, delay, and a utility that's just automated in the drop. But I think that's it. So I'll play us out with the finished track first. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.